believe we're about to see a giant decline in the people using Perplexity or Tavily to power their AI agents. Recently, OpenAI released their responses API, and one of the big 3 features that were released with this is web research. One of the biggest problems historically large language models have had is having up-to-date information. Typically, it lagged anywhere from 6 months to a year plus. However, this new responses API can get information from the day before, and we're going to test that in today's video. In addition, what's really cool on there too is there is a file search, which can be a very simple RAG, so that way you don't have to build out an entire RAG pipeline if you're new to it, as well as a code interpreter, so it can help generate some Python code or other programming languages as well. We're going to be covering all of that in today's video through 5 different examples. Really quick though, before we do jump into n8n, I'd love to have you a part of my free school community. It's going to be linked down below in the description. We just reached the 300 member milestone mark, and people in here are interested in learning about AI to implement this in multiple different ways, whether you want to upskill in your data job, if you want to take on freelance customers, or automate boring tasks at your business. Link is down below in the description, and make sure to join that. All right, let's jump into n8n. Cool. So we're here now. Let's take a look at some of our first different examples. All right, so all I'm doing over here, and I'll just zoom in for you guys, is I'm adding in an AI agent, which if you don't know how to set in an AI agent, just search AI agent, drag this over. And for our specific chat model, we're using OpenAI. And I'm using GPT-5 mini. And you'll see we have this option directly in here, use responses API. To note, it is not in the AI agent, it's in this specific chat model, the OpenAI chat model. So you're gonna have to go over here and choose use responses API. And what you'll see is there's different tools. We're gonna start off with the web search tool, just to show you also how this looks. We go over here, and by default, you can see it says add in built-in tool. You get web search, file search, and code interpreter. We're going to cover all of that in today's video, but we're going to start off with the web research side of things, because I think that's what most people are going to utilize this for. And what you'll find by default is it has over here search context size. So what does search context size mean? Well, this is a high level guidance for the amount of context window space used for search. And if you're not familiar, every single model has a specific context window. So how much of this context window is going to be supplied? A small amount, a medium, or a large amount from the specific web research. So to show you that this works, and literally all you got to do, set up an OpenAI account, GPT-5 mini, and set this medium. I'm going to search 2 things that recently happened. So first, this announced today, Good Charlotte is touring with Avenged Sevenfold. So we'll see how that works. And then last night, Baseball Hall of Fame just inducted Jeff Kent and over Barry Bonds, which is crazy. No disrespect to Jeff Kent. So we're going to see if both of these are working. And what we're going to do is open this chat over here. And we're going to start off with did Good Charlotte tour with Avenged Sevenfold, and we'll see if this works or not. You'll see we have this brand new animation as well. It'll take me a little bit to get used to. Yes, Good Charlotte and Avenged Sevenfold announced a co-headlining North American tour for summer 2026, July 25th through August 27th. If you want, I can paste the full list of dates, venues, or check on sale details about a specific city. So literally announced today, we're already getting that information back. And let's ask about this other question. Who made the Hall of Fame first, Jeff Kent or Barry Bonds? So we'll ask that over here. And obviously Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame, although he should be. And some people say that's controversial. I don't think it is. We'll get our result. Jeff Kent, he was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame December 7th, induction set for July 2026. Barry Bonds had not been elected as of December 8th, 2025 at baseballhall.org. And I got it. Cool. So again, you can just go in over here. You can change this. I keep it as medium as default, but obviously depending on your use case, it could be low or high. On the next side is to search a specific area. And there's a few different options on this. And I'm just going to put our chat over here and I'm going to reset it. So what you can search is a specific city. You could search a specific country or a specific region. And I'll just give you a use case from my full-time job. So before the Responses API, I was doing some research for different businesses. So we do underwriting and risk monitoring. And when I have an AI agent, I want to take a look at either a local area or a national area based off of the business. So for example, software provider, that'd be throughout the United States. However, a food establishment might only be within 50 or 100-mile radius of a specific city, typically less than 50 miles. But what I can put over here is an example. Can you tell me any negative news coverage about, and I just literally grabbed the first restaurant that I found that was on the news that was shut down for health reasons. So Sicky's Garage Burger and Brews. And Sicky's is just an interesting name for a restaurant that just got shut down for health violation. That was kind of funny for the video, but we'll test this out. And you'll see if I go over here in our chat model, I kept medium and I put country as US and I put city for Orlando. And again, you have other options as well and over here, but we're just going to put these. And then I just put in country US and then city being Orlando. So you can see that there is also a region option if you want to choose that as well, but I just kept it for those two. So what I'm going to do is just put this in and we'll see all the different news stories about this establishment being shut down. Yes, I searched recent news and review sites. Here's the main negative news items. Health inspection shut down near Disney, and it talked about in late September 2025. A lot more other information over here. Customer food sickness reports. So if you're trying to do some research on a business, and I know that's not everyone's use case, pretty cool approach that you could utilize on here. Another example, and I'm just going to drag this over here, is looking over a specific domain. So sometimes you just want to look at a website for information. And again, another option over here, why I think this is really amazing. So keeping in some of the sports themes, what happened recently with Notre Dame football, they didn't make the college football playoffs. And I know that as a UCF fan, it kind of sucks. So we're going to go over here. And if we go on this side of things, it says web search allowed domains. I just put in ESPN.com. And we'll just go over here and grab that and paste it in. All right, and then you can see it, they got left out of the 12-team college football playoff, ranked the number 11, and tells you a little bit more information over here if you want to keep prompting forward. But I think that's fine for now. The second part is we're going to be taking a look at the file search, and I think this is probably one of the easiest ways to implement some sort of RAG for your AI agents. So you know, there is some pros and cons of using OpenAI for this versus what Gemini has for their file search. And I honestly might make a video comparing both of these over here. Because Gemini is way cheaper. I don't know how well the accuracy is between both of these versus a normal RAG pipeline. Again, something I want to explore a little bit later when there isn't so much news coming down. But regardless, one thing to note is if you have over 1 gigabyte worth of data in our vector store, it's going to charge you 10 cents per day. So it can add up really fast, but there is options to delete files in there. And let me show you a few things. So I just grabbed this article on Ultra Running Guide, and it's just saying like what you should do for tapering, what you should do for running ultra marathons. And we're going to use that as our knowledge base. So we're going to go into our OpenAI API. Let me show you what's pretty cool. So we can also build out our vector store as well. So vector stores allow for assistants to search information in your documents using the file search tool. So we can go over here and create. And we'll say ultra running vector store. We have this ID, which we'll have to use in a second. And then it says files attach. And what we can do is add in our file. So click add files. And I really should have just dropped it over here. And you can see the ultra running over here. And I can click attach. Now we have our files over here. And again, it says 0.1 gigabyte per day. The size on this one is very tiny, 17 kilobytes. So what we're going to do is grab the ID of this vector store, and we're going to go back over here and inside our, not our AI agent, but our chat model over here, And all we got to do is populate in the array just like that. And then let me ask a question based around it. So I actually haven't really read the doc, but it's very common to taper or run a long distance before an ultra marathon. So let me just look up something about 50 K. For a 50K race, I have many athletes peak around 21 to 24 miles for a 50 mile or 100. And then we have over here for a 100-mile race about 2 months before race day. Okay, so what we're going to do is ask over here, what should the longest training run be for a 100 miler? We're going to ask that and see if we get the exact results. Okay, and made one small error. I just didn't have this connected over here. So I'm going to actually connect that. And then I'm going to ask, what should the longest training run be for a 100 miler? So it's going to go through, it's going to grab our AI agent, and we will see if it ended up picking up that 50-mile result. I believe it said 50 mile or a 50K. Personally, from experience, I would say you definitely need to run a 50 miler and be comfortable with that 50 miler before you jump to the 100 distance. Okay, short answer, you do not need and usually shouldn't to run 100 miles in training. Aim to peak with a 50 mile or 100K effort 6 to 8 weeks before the race, combining back-to-back long runs, inconsistent weekly volume to stimulate fatigue. 100% correct there. Has a little bit more information. And yeah, this looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm not reading all this for this specific YouTube video, but I assume it went through the guide and grabbed a lot of info. So lastly, what I want to do is take a look at the code interpreter. So this allows you to have the AI write and run Python code in a secured sandbox environment to solve complex tasks like data analysis. This task over here, I actually had Claude generate, and we're literally just going to send this to the AI agent. And to show you how we set this up is use responses API and literally just turn on code interpreter. That is it. And what you'll see if I go to our AI agent, first, actually, let me go to the edit. You'll see I just pasted all of this over here. So I literally just grabbed it and pasted there. And our AI agent, if I go in here, has our specific output. And you'll see I've cleaned up the merged sales data. This actually, by the way, looked way better when I had it in a chat, but I cleaned up the data and it actually gave me a link to go and download the new updated CSV. I don't know if it's showing over here or not. Let me just Control F CSV. Look, clean CSV, download the clean CSV. So I would recommend that you just put this in chat rather than how I have this built out over here. I'm not going to redo it for that reason. Just because of costs associated with it, and I don't want to rerun it. But regardless, it went through, it cleaned up all of this data. It gave me a spreadsheet at the very end to go through. So those are the three different options when it comes to the responses API. So I find most people are going to use it for the up-to-date information. Some people might use it for RAG. There's still the debate if you want to build out a normal RAG pipeline or if you want to use a faster approach like Gemini or what OpenAI has to offer, although Gemini is way cheaper. And then you also have the code interpreter over there. And that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel where we're uploading a lot of different n8n and AI content over here. And would love to have you stick around for other videos. Check out our school group, and if you want to learn more about n8n, we have a playlist of like 60 plus, probably almost 70 videos now here on the channel. So check that out. It's a full course, and I'll see you soon.